Ready to go? I'd like to welcome everybody to Verona Borough Council Business Meeting of October 10th. We could please rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Provenza? She's on Zoom.
She's trying to get on Zoom, or she's on Zoom.
She just muted.
Mr. Flota?
Here.
Ms. President Suchovich?
Here.
Ms. Resnick Showalter?
Present.
Dr. Carpenter?
Present.
Mr. Pitch?
Present.
Mr. Craig?
Present.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mayor Recupero and Mayor and Mr. Alexander are excused for tonight.
Thank you. Any additional emergency agenda items?
I have an additional item to add at the request of the mayor related to advertising the full-time officer position. And I guess it's not really an action item, so it's more informational, but also Stephanie, the program with the scholarship, just making sure that was still on the table for the upcoming budget discussion.
That's on the table for the upcoming budget discussion, and the part-time ad is going back up, and the full-time ad will go back up at the beginning of the year.
Perfect.
Is that it? Okay,
That
we'll
is-
registered comments from the public. Please approach the podium.
There's no register.
Okay, oh, wow, oh, no registered, yeah, not, okay.
Do I?
1 second.
1 second.
Sorry.
Now we'll go to comments from the public. At this time, we're council. We'll hear comments on public related items. Please approach a podium, raise your virtual hand, clearly state your name and address. Limit your comments to 3 minutes, please.
Shirley Marino Davis, Twinborough Health Ministry, Verona United Methodist Church. I just wanted to take this opportunity to some of you that haven't met our new pastor, Pastor Dale is with Verona Methodist Church. If there is any needs or anything, he is there for anybody to talk to besides myself. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think most of us did meet him at the dinner. Right. Thank you. And thanks for coming down. Nobody else? Laura Jacko?
Hi, Laura Jacko, 437 North Ave. I just wanted to, as the president of the Shade Tree Commission, make myself available at the beginning of the meeting for any questions. I understand that you all have like the email that I'd sent on the agenda today to talk about later on. I don't know that I can stay for the whole meeting because I have to attend to my child, but I wanted to be here at least preemptively in case anybody had any questions that I could help with.
Anybody have anything for Laura?
Laura, I don't think this is related to what you sent, but Nancy and I were doing a walkthrough and there was an area kind of across from the Borough building where there was a patch of grass that looked like maybe there used to be a tree or there could be a tree. Do you know what I'm talking about? I can send a photo.
Is that the tree pit that is in the sidewalk across the way
Yes.
from?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones that's going to be planted. And I think Councilman Craig, I want to say, or maybe he's not here, or maybe I heard the wrong person was off. Anyway, sorry. I think that he had looked into the electricity that was running around that and determined that it was okay to plant. And so that's one of the ones that's going to be replaced. I think all the info is in the email, but I'm pretty sure that that's the case.
Yes, it is going to be replaced. We had AJ check the electricity just to make sure it's on. I'm assuming before I got the tree down, and there.
And that's what it is. And Pittsburgh didn't want to put a tree in until they knew for sure where the electric line ran through that tree box. And I did find out from agent where it is. So they're good to go to plant a tree in there now.
Does it answer your question, Trish?
Oh, it definitely does. Thanks everyone for your work on that. And thanks Laura for your work.
Awesome. Cool. Yep. I'm excited that we're getting a new one in there because it's been blank for a while.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
There a pin up there, Sherry? And for you guys. Let me get. Sign it.
You got one.
That one,
No, no, no.
thank you.
So Sherry Kai, 759 East Railroad, this is actually not for me. Gloria DeCentris, she can't make to the meeting, she just asking me, she made a sign, a 30-minute parking sign, it says Monday, I took a picture. She was wondering if we can put it, the borough will allow her or help her to put it outside her storefront. It doesn't have her name on it. It just says a 30-minute parking sign. Monday through, I gotta find that picture. I just
Matt.
have it.
I'm gonna refer that to you.
I can send it to Stephanie and I promise her I will come.
How about if we refer that to Matt, Mr. Pitch, our borough engineer, and he can address that?
So the borough could help put it up. The issue comes in that the borough already has an ordinance for 2-hour parking. So the sign would not be enforceable unless the ordinance was changed.
Okay, oh,
So it could be put up and used as a recommendation, but they couldn't ticket anyone until they exceeded the 2-hour limit.
the sign says 30 minutes.
But the borough ordinance, which would be like the law behind the signs, says 2-hour parking. So like all of ARB is 2-hour maximum.
Can we do a separate ordinance
Like
for
a
that
temporary-
one?
And actually, I don't
Parking
even
spot,
think
like,
that
did
big
we
sign
have
that
that
she
for
puts on the street's
baskets?
legal.
I mean, we can look into it, but I mean, there's a
But the
pretty
question then
substantial cost that
becomes,
comes with it.
Okay,
To
yeah.
re-advertise ordinances and everything.
Yeah,
and then the question becomes, where do we go from there? Because they park in our lots and we kind of let it go. So we have to look, kind of balance that out one side to the other.
And I think the thing at Patsy's, that was just, the sign was hung there, it was never. Kind of.
Oh,
Yeah, so I
okay,
mean-
so was it
That's
really
what it said,
enforceable?
Patsy had a
Correct,
sign there for
okay.
years,
But nobody ever paid attention to it.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, when they closed, and she said she made it according to the, to the requirement, 8 foot tall, however the road sign's supposed to be.
We'll
So-
have to take it to our solicitor.
Yeah.
Since it's an ordinance issue.
Okay, I'll let her know. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we'll go to comments from the boards. Parks and Rec Board?
Yes, we had a meeting last night. And we had someone apply to be an alternate board member. His name is Jason Alberti. And the Parks and Rec introduced her, we introduced ourselves, he introduced himself. We had a good back and forth for a little bit, and it is the Parks and Rec Board's recommendation to council to please appoint him as the alternate.
At the appropriate time.
Yeah, at the end of the meeting, I believe it's on as an action item. But that was the Parks and Rec's recommendation. It was unanimous that we.
And for those of you that don't know who Mr. Alberti is, he's sitting right there in the front row. Okay, is
That's
that
all
it?
I have.
Okay, thank you. Council President report. Number one, we've had a few members of council going to different employees of the borough. I just want to reiterate to everybody, if you want the DPW department to do something or the police, you go to Stephanie and go through that route. We don't go to DPW and say, hey, can you do this sign or do that? Everything got to go through our borough manager. We have a policy on that. So just wanted to say that. I want to discuss or just bring up for the council meetings for 2024. There's been a lot of talk between some people about possibly changing the workshop to the 4th Tuesday. Keep the business meeting at the 2nd Tuesday and you do the workshop on the 4th Tuesday. So there's every other week. So I don't know if anybody wants to discuss it.
You're saying so that we don't have this variability of whenever there's 5 Tuesdays and we
right.
have to have it on the 5th.
That way we know it's on the 4th Tuesday.
And it gets confusing to explain to like seniors and stuff like that, when you're like, it's the
The last.
second and the last Tuesday. 'Cause
Yeah.
they don't look at what you mean by that.
Okay, and since it's a workshop, it wouldn't mess with like Matt or Craig's schedule at all.
No,
Although sometimes when we would have it on the fifth, if it was something really important and Craig was able to come, but it
well,
only
if
happens
it's,
once.
if it's something
every
really
2
important,
years,
we
yeah.
could have Craig or one of his associates.
That, I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
I mean,
So,
it still gives you on those fifth Tuesdays, those 2 weeks in between.
Right,
But
at the end of the month.
Yeah,
or
right.
Beginning of the next month or whatever, yeah,
yeah, it just gives you an easier time. to do it.
Consistent all 12 months.
Right.
yeah.
so
Second,
that's,
fourth.
that's probably gonna happen unless anybody has a big objection to it. So when we set up our meetings next year,
Public comment.
we'll work on that.
Actually, not sure why we didn't think of this sooner.
Well,
You know,
it happens. The last thing I want to mention is just to remind everybody, the workshop for October 31st is canceled because of Halloween.
Are we gonna discuss at some point when we might be having that extra meeting for the budget in November? Second,
we are gonna discuss that with finance. There may be some different things you may look at instead of having an extra meeting. Trying to fit that in is gonna be
challenging,
challenging,
okay.
but we'll do that. We have a meeting tomorrow.
Okay. The mayor's not here. Does anybody have the mayor's report, a report from him?
He has no report.
Okay. We're gonna go to the borough manager's report. Stephanie.
You should have all received the preliminary budget survey results. I've tabulated them, I've gone, kind of gone through them, haven't like studied them up one side, down the other, because it just ended on Friday, so we didn't start preparing until Monday. Again, we have a budget meeting tomorrow, so we'll be looking at what are the top 5 areas for the public. I can tell you by reading, it is neighborhood services, street paving, police services, sidewalk investment along the active corridor, and fire and emergency services are the top 5. So we'll really focus to see and make sure that we're working on those in the next couple of weeks. Computer purchase. As part of the ARPA budget in April, we discussed that we were going to order new computers both for the administrative office and DPW. Police just got new computers last year. And we will also be getting a server. We do not have a server. That means we are not protected as much as we should be. So we are looking at purchasing a server, and then 4 laptop computers. 1 would be for this room to do the meetings. 3 would be in the administrative offices with docking stations and screens. And then DPW would have a normal everyday tower machine with a screen. The total cost with including the server would be $12,753.96. I'm recommending later on that we purchase these computers and the server. And just so everybody knows, the phone system is on its way of going in, so it's just taking some time.
I'm sorry if I missed this. This is coming out of our ARPA.
That's
Yes.
ARPA.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, thank you.
Strategic management, we did finally receive the signature pages, and that is complete. We had received a bid from Daily Operations on working with a strategic plan that will cover financial services and staffing. This plan will be giving us a roadmap to help with planning for the next 5 years or so. I will be meeting with their CEO soon. This plan we will not start working on this until the beginning of 2024.
Oh, one other question, Steph. The survey results, are they going onto the website and
No,
no? Okay,
they're for us to review the budget.
okay.
And you have updating website?
Yes, updating the website. We are getting ready to update the website. We are adding Municipay, which will allow people to be able to pay online for codes and also, app- I can't-
Applications and.
applications, all sorts of stuff. We're also working on a new user-friendly rental calendar. This is basically to help the people be able to actually get online, check and reserve a time straight from online, and it will automatically come back to our office. We'll also be doing updates on E-code 360, and then we'll also be updating code enforcement.
Very good, thank you.
We're updating the mapping on the website as
Oh,
well.
that's right. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Okay, good, thanks, Matt. Code enforcement,
We do, starting October 1st, have a new code enforcement officer who is in town about 15 hours a month. Your report this month is from September, but your new report in October will look much different. Some of the changes people might be seeing is blue door hangers as reminders, warnings. There'll also be tickets that follow up with the codes. So that we can start making sure that everybody's paying, and a lot more follow-up. So he is gonna be out there. His name is Joe. He is has gone with the magistrate, so he's all set and ready. So if you have any questions, he has his cell phone on. You get a blue tag, his cell phone's on it.
very good, thank you. Police chief's report, Chief McLemore.
Evening.
Good evening, Chief.
We had 121 complaints received for the month of September. 21 total crimes reported, 20 crimes that were cleared, 16 arrests. Vehicle code summaries issued for 12, borough code summaries issued for 19, and 141 borough parking tickets were issued. The revenue for the month was $408.57 from magistrates' fines collected. Borough's fines and fees collected was $765. Base reports purchased $75. Total fines and fees collected was $1,248.57. Then another $105 for parking permit fees. And that's all I was doing.
Very good, thank you, Chief. Next up would be the fire chief's report, Dan Teehee. Good evening, Keith.
Fire department answered a total of 6 calls for the month of September, starting 9/4. Water leak inside an apartment, 460 South Avenue, number 9 in Verona. 9/8, a vehicle accident at Allegheny River Boulevard at Front Street in Verona. 9/14, natural gas leaking from Nubnet at 427 School Street in Verona. 9/20, residential fire alarm, 408 Union Street in Verona, false alarm. 9/24, animal problem, deer stuck in a fence, 849 First Street in Verona. And 9/27, water leak, 826 7th Street in Penn.
Anybody have anything for Dan? Thanks, Dan, appreciate it. Next up is EMS report. Assistant Chief, I forget your last name. Okay, Terry, sorry about that.
For the month of September, we had 34 calls in Verona. 5 of them were LS, 1 of them were BLS, 2 were lift. 5 were refusals. 1 was a treat and no transport. Unfortunately, 1 of them was a passing. 3 were canceled. 1 was a fire alarm and 1 was a water condition. Not a lot of transport for
Anybody have anything for Terry? Thank you, appreciate it. Next up is our solicitor's report. As noted, Mr. Alexander couldn't make it. We have his report. I don't know if anybody has any questions. It's all on his report.
I will mention, we haven't discussed, but we will be going with LBA.
Okay,
That's what's in the budget for this year.
very good. Next up would be the engineer's report, Mr. Pitch.
Thank you. You have my written report, just a few updates on that. The storm source CCTV, I received a quote back from the contractor today for some additional work that falls under the grant. So I'll be working with him to schedule some of that. That's for cleaning of some of the storm sores that we found to be partially clogged or almost fully clogged. Especially on ARB there by Jones Street where they tend to pond. We're
Right.
gonna take care of that area.
You think they're just blocked up? You don't think there's any collapse or anything?
We're not sure right now because we can't get in them, but we're gonna at least get
Chat
them
'em out.
cleaned and then get a camera in them again to make sure.
Cool.
The Center Avenue storm sewer, I spoke with the contractor yesterday. Right now, tentatively, he's on the schedule to start towards the end of next week, with that. The alley reconstructions, they're tentatively on the schedule the 18th. We were waiting for some final paperwork from the county, which we should have received today or tomorrow. And then that will be scheduled for sure. And then the Center Avenue Road reconstruction, depending on how quick the storm sewer can go in. There's a slight chance that it's this year, but more than likely, it's probably gonna be a spring project. And then I worked with Stephanie. We're gonna be putting together a grant application, which I'll have budgets and resolutions and everything for the LSA statewide grant. We're gonna apply for some more road reconstruction, and I'm gonna use the robotics information to help pick some of those streets.
So you said the Peach Alley and Parker and all that's gonna hopefully start on the 18th.
Correct, and I'll work with Stephanie to make sure that we get all the information out ahead of time. If the paperwork from the county doesn't come quick enough, I'll push them back, so we at least give residents a couple days notice. We're not gonna allow them just to show up and start the next day without letting people know.
And the storm sewer on Center starting the end of next week.
Correct, if that changes, I'll let Stephanie know as well, because we'll put out a Facebook post and put it on the Cribs Field sign.
With text.
So, there'll be minor interruptions. He has one crossing to do. So there'll be temporary flagging for that. Once he's across the road, there'll just be no parking on one side and there'll still be 2 lanes of traffic. So minor interruption, just ask people to be careful and slow down.
Very good. Thank you.
Matt, will any lines that you remark coincide with the paving this month and also any curb work, like ADA curb work?
I'm sorry, I missed the first half of that.
Can't imagine why. Any lines that need remarked or ADA curves that need done, will they be done at the same time as the paving?
So none of the alleyways have any ADAs ramps on them right now. And they're mostly all single lane, so there's no markings on those. Center, we had discussed that. We can always have the center line added. As of right now, it just had the single yellow line, so we can discuss further if we want to make it the correct double yellow, or if we want to go back to a single yellow.
I think we can definitely talk about that. I think the double for Center, but Sylvan will have the ADA curb ramps.
Correct, that's under a separate project with the CDBG.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, thanks
Right.
for clarifying.
When that goes forward, I'll be getting quotes for the ramps, which was previously approved. We just have to get what the actual cost is gonna be.
Got it. Thanks, Matt.
Anybody else have anything for Matt? Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Next up would be committee reports. Dr. Carpenter.
Thank you, Ray. So for the month of September, our revenues were approximately 139,500. Our expenditures were approximately 175,000. So we had a net deficit for the month of September of 35,000. This is all approximate. But our total net income so far for the year is $407,187. There's other information for you guys to look at if you have any questions about anything. There's also the bills. So then unless anybody has any questions, I will make a motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter to pay the bills.
Second.
Second by Mr. Craig. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Passed.
The only other thing I just wanna remind people that we will have the regular finance committee meeting on the fourth Monday, October 23rd, but it will be by Zoom only. Because I won't be here and it's just easier altogether to hear, so we'll be meeting by Zoom. But we're also, as Stephanie mentioned, gonna have a budget meeting tomorrow afternoon.
Very good. Thank you.
I think that's it for me.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Next up would be Recreation and Community, Mr. Craig.
Yes, our meeting last month, we talked about the food truck policy and we got some possible changes to the policy, which we'll continue to work on, and when we get it semi-finalized, we'll bring it to council to see if they have any questions or for it. We also talked about some possibilities for the story walk in Railroad Park. We didn't come up with anything definite. We talked about some different possibilities, possibly around the pavilion, possibly around the future BOV trail, like along it, so that kind of thing, but didn't have anything definite yet on that. As far as the borough trees, as Laura mentioned earlier, a couple weeks ago, I happened to run into Brian Crooks, our representative from Tree Vitalize at the farmer's market here, and we discussed the trees some. There's been, we're gonna have 6 trees put in the borough coming up here. One will be this one that we talked about tonight, across from the borough building. It's a tree box that the tree died a number of years ago. The one on West Railroad that never took from last year, the Tree Vitalize came in and took down. They're gonna replace it. There's one up on South by Cribs. And then the 3 trees that we had removed from
In
Cribs,
Cribs.
we're gonna replace them. The 3 up there that we're gonna place, what we're talking about putting in there are called Paradia. It's like parrot with IA on the end. It's a small tree. It tops out at about 12 foot, but it does have some spread, so it will create shade. And I talked to Brian the other day about possibly moving them back a little bit closer to south, because you can't plant them in the same place anyway, because the old root systems are still there.
Very good.
And then actually, that same day later on, I had run into Laura at the farmer's market, and she had already gotten an email from Brian about that. And she had asked me, if we get these trees in, can we have DPW water them next summer, like they did the ones on West Railroad this year. It'd be once a week type thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with that.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it for me.
Thank you. Public Safety, Mrs. Provenza.
Due to flights,
What?
we're still working on that.
What?
Due to issues with both the solicitor and Ms. Provenza, we haven't finished the wording on it yet.
Okay,
Oh,
on the parking fees. Okay,
We hope to have it for November.
all right.
Ray, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Sylvia.
Okay, thank you. On the public safety, excuse me, we have established a new price rate for the parking tickets. We are now just waiting for the proper wording, and then we'll have it all put together. And right now, we just have a hold on that.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Excuse me.
Communications, Mr. Floda.
I have nothing at this time.
Infrastructure and Asset Management, Miss Red Zach Showalter.
Thank you, Mr. President. I might need help from my committee members. We had put back on the agenda, the draft paving policy. I think we wanted to review it with Matt present. I don't know, Stephanie, if you can throw that up on the screen.
And not, but everybody has it here, my love. Everybody has a copy here.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, I know we talked about this a couple times, but I think we just wanted everyone to kind of give it another look with Matt here to answer any questions about the new guidelines going forward. Emphasis on the guidelines, not a solid breakdown or a set in stone breakdown of the ratio of reds to 2s and 3s.
Is that, can I ask a question, Trish? Do you mind?
Hi, of course not. Go ahead.
Matt, does that seem like a reasonable ratio to do 70% number 3 roads and 30% of 5 and 4 roads? Or would you wanna change that at all?
I will have to look at that a little bit, because it's gonna have to be on a adjusted scale, because.
That's why it's a guideline.
Yeah,
Set number.
because once we hit 70% the first year, 70% the next year is gonna be drastically lower.
Oh,
And-
maybe account for that, yeah.
And then also, once we start to get caught up, you don't necessarily have to reconstruct 4s and 5s, but there's different products out there that could be used on them if we ever, if we get caught up well enough that we're only looking at 3s, 4s and 5s. But I get it's also a guideline as well.
Right, but we may wanna add something in there as the ensuing years go on, then the ratios.
Yeah,
may
because
wanna
the-
change.
We can always change the policy
It's a
too.
policy,
Yeah.
we can always
The
change it
first
at
couple
any time.
years, 70% is gonna be rather drastic projects that's gonna come with a hefty price tag. So that 70% the first couple years might be closer to 40 or 50%, just
Right.
because of what's affordable.
Well, that's why we wanted to talk about it with you.
Well, I think this is referring to if we decided to do 5 roads. That we would, make 3.5 of them be a number 3 road and the one, you know what I'm saying? Like only of the roads that we're deciding to do, not all the roads in the
Yeah,
whole
this isn't
town.
The roads in the borough, this is roads.
Yeah,
That are being
Um,
done. that
okay,
year.
I apologize. I was looking at it as we were gonna take 70%.
No,
no, of the
70%
road,
of
yeah,
The amount we have to spend
Right.
will go towards this.
Yes.
30% will go towards that.
Yeah, and again, it is just a guideline, and it will have to be reviewed each year because. Depending on the project we do that year, a 4 or 5 could eat up 80% of the budget, so I mean. I don't think it's a bad, just because we have red roads that are 4s and 5s. To just instantly jump to the next 5 years only looking at those. I don't think that that's 100% required, because a lot of them are smaller, less used roads, so
Right.
we do have to focus on roads like Center that could be a 3 or a 4. So I don't, being that it's just a guideline, I don't think that that's too bad. I mean, I think it's setting forward that, and it's letting people know that. Just because on the robotics information, something's red in a 5, doesn't instantly mean that it's. Front of the list, but at the same time, it means that we're not forgetting about it either.
And part of it, we came up with these numbers is Trish had done some research and find that like they're advised that if you only concentrate on the 4 and 5s, the 3s become 4s and 5s.
Right.
So that's why you work on the 3s and the 4s.
try to
Yeah, and-
prevent them.
And with the 3s, that's just gonna be your standard, just mill and overlay, where the 4s and 5s require base repair and
Right.
stuff like that.
And the other thing you have to remember when you're looking at the red road, some of those are brick.
Correct.
Right.
And that gets taken into effect when we look at them as well.
And again, like the president said, this is a policy, at any point we can change the guidelines, they're not a hard number. We can change.
Yeah,
the
because it's not an
guidelines.
ordinance, it's not a,
Just a vote of council.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it looks too bad. I mean, it establishes the guidelines of kind of how we're gonna approach things, so it lets people know. I mean. In the past, we've kind of. worked off something similar, but it was never in writing, so
Right.
people just didn't really know. They were kind of in the dark of how we approached it, so I don't think that this is bad.
Very good, thank you. Anybody have anything else on it?
I was just gonna note, if you look at the survey results, there is a ton of public support for paving, so I look forward to hopefully we'll put this on the agenda next month to pass as a policy and then working it into a more formal paving plan. So the public can have more of an idea of what's coming when, and also since it's not on the screen for anyone who wasn't in previous meetings where we read this does also look at things like signs and other features of the roads, not just the roads themselves. Also related to signs, I mentioned earlier that Nancy and I did a walkthrough of the business area. We have a running list of signs that do need updated, and Stephanie, I will get you that list soon. Thank you.
Yeah, please do. The boys just ordered a bunch of signs and are updating a bunch of signs, so your list might become,
Obsolete.
because they just ordered a ton that have to be fixed. So I just want to let you know that they are already working on it.
Did you hear that, Trish?
I sure did. Thank you, Stephanie.
Anything else, Trish?
Nope, that's all for right now. Thank you.
Okay. Community development, Mr. Long?
Nothing.
Nothing at this time. Reports of special committees, Alon?
Let me unmute here. I was not able to get a hold of Alom. I tried numerous times. I don't think they're in the office all the time, or they may still be in the process of moving because they are moving to a new address.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
COG, that's coming up next 2 weeks. So that's that on that. We have no old business. We'll go to new business. I'd like to have a motion to approve Jason Alberti to the Parks and Recreation Board as an alternate board member.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Long, second by Mr. Floda. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jason.
I believe that's, I believe the alternate is a year to year,
Year to year.
I believe. Because as the
Who takes care of that book or the dates for all the committees and,
I'll start.
Teresa, maybe,
okay, I thought the office did
We'll
for the,
For all
how
of
long?
them.
zoning and, yeah,
What we will do, starting with 2024, we will
update it all and have
start
a,
our own
a
list,
running total.
Have a running total.
Cool.
I'm not gonna try to go backwards, but
No, right,
that's why I wanted to make a note now.
Right.
I think we did, since the beginning, I think alternates were year to year,
hmm
because if somebody's term was up,
right,
then the alternate.
Can
the end of
fill
the
in.
year Can step up and take that.
very
And
good.
The other members, I believe they're 3, 5. and
I think
7.
there's a lot of differences in the different,
we'll
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
through that at the beginning of
I
next
think it's
year.
all three now. I think.
It was
I think it
3.
was different at the beginning, so you didn't have everyone changing at once, but now I think it's 3. It's fine.
It's in the bylaws.
Yeah, it's 5 now.
After you reappointed for 5 years.
okay, very good, thank you. Next, I'll have a motion to approve the purchase of computers and a server in the amount of $12,753.96 to Project IMC.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter,
I'll second.
Second.
second by Mr. Craig. Any questions? All in favor? All
Aye.
opposed? Passed. Announcements, I'll give a call, okay, Mrs. Provenza, you got the first things coming up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. We'll start with newsletter. The holiday issue is due Wednesday, November the 1st, and this will cover December, January, and February. So if you can please get your articles into us as soon as possible, they would be greatly appreciated. The articles can be sent to Donald Wharf at veronanewsroom@gmail.com, or you can call him at 412-828-3607. And for placing ads, I can be reached at 412-828-7726. Chamber of Commerce. Next meeting will be Tuesday, October 17th at 7 PM here in the Verona Borough Building. And Chamber is looking for sponsors for the upcoming Jolly Jamboree. Also, diaper drive is still on, and it will go until Saturday, October 21. Anyone donating diapers can drop them off at Edda's Doggy Daycare or at the Hula Bar. And the farmer's market is still going on every Thursday from 2 to 7 PM. And events are now being planned for Halloween and the Jolly Jamboree. Twin Borough Ministries, the community dinner will be held on Wednesday, October 25th from 4:30 to 6:30, and it will be hosted by the Verona Moose. And the church hall is still open for dining. Historical Society, the next meeting will be on Thursday, October 19th at 7 PM in the Borough Building. Destination Moon, the Pittsburgh story, will be presented by Emily Ruby, and she is from the Heinz History Center, and all are welcome. Let's see what else we have here. Also, the Halloween Bash and the parade Saturday, October 21. It will be at Railroad Park. And Verona Farmers Market will hold the trunk or treat function on Thursday, October 26th. And the drive-in movie will be Hocus Pocus on Friday, October 27th at dusk. The movie will be shown on the grassy lot on South Avenue and East Railroad Avenue. And East Railroad Avenue will be closed between South Avenue and James Street for the movie. And Borough Verona Trick or Treat will be on Tuesday, October 31st from 6 to 8 PM. And if you have any questions or any comments, I'll be glad to take them. And if not, this concludes my reports, and I thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Belenza.
You're welcome, sir.
Feel better, Sylvia.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Miss not being there.
Yeah,
First time I did it by Zooms. I mean, I do Zoom many a times, but never with council.
did a good job, Sylvia.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate you.
At this time, we're comments from the public. Please approach the podium or raise your virtual hand. Limit your comments to 3 minutes. We have nobody in the audience. No virtual hands. I'll take the motion. Motion by Mr. Long,
Second.
second by Mrs.
Sylvia still gets it.
Oh.
Second by whoever to adjourn. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you, everybody, for coming, and have a good weekend or a good week.
Ready for the weekend already.
I am ready for the weekend.
Here we are, I found this.